Hello, I'm Dr.S.Meenakshi, Contractual Assistant Professor, Department of English, Jamshedpur Workers College, Kolhan University, Chaibasa. Uh, today I'm going to mm, Today I'm going to discuss the influence of French on the English language, which is prescribed in semester 3rd syllabus, uh, paper 7. But before starting the influence of French on English language, I would like to deal with the historical background, and then I shall proceed with the what was the influence of French on the English language. So let's proceed now. The Norman invasion of England in 1066 had a major impact not only in the country but also on the English language. William the Conqueror and his merry band of Normans brought with them Norman French, which became the language of court, government, and the upper class for the next 3 centuries. English continued to be used by ordinary people, and Latin was the language of the church. During this period, when Norman French was the dominant language, English was rarely used in writing and started to change in many ways. Before the conquest, English had a much more complex in grammar. However, 70 or 80 years later, the grammar had become much simpler. This change is known as the transformation from Old to Middle English. At the same time, Norman French became Anglo-Norman as it was itself affected by English. French, like Latin, may be said to have contributed most to the enrichment of English vocabulary. The floodgates to barrage of French words coming into English were indeed thrown open 1666 with the Norman conquest of England. But it would be an historical error to think that nothing happened before. The import of French words into English. In fact, the ruling classes of England and the Normandy have social and political contacts and matrimonial relations even before the conquest. As a result, they contributed some words to English. Some examples are castle, French castel, Castel, replacing English burg, meaning the fortified residence of the Norman nobles. Similarly came words denoting food items like capon from French words capon, bacon from French words bacon. The greatest number of French loanwords found their way into English during the Middle Ages from the 11th century to the end of the 15th. The borrowings of this period were naturalized and fully assimilated into English in spelling as well as pronunciation. French words kept coming even in the modern phase of British history, particularly after Restoration. They have not been so well indigenized as the words that came during the Middle Ages. French loanwords came into English from French dialects, Norman French, that is French of the north, and Central French, that is French as spoken around Paris. Quite a number of words used in English as if they were native words, but actually they came from Norman French. For example, prison, forest, market, rent, justice, court, treasure, battle, contest, plaintiff, privilege, chaplain, chancellor, etc. In the early years of the 13th century, the Central French of the dialects came to gain ascendancy over the Northern French dialects. Then onward, the steady flow of French words into English across the English Channel continued on unabated through the centuries. Though English is a Teutonic language and French a Romance language, the two elements in English language mixed quite harmoniously to make efficient synonyms and shades of meaning. The English words are more homely, lively, and personal. The French counterparts are status conscious, colder, more abstract, and sometimes even less precise. This would be clear from the following sets of words: inner or interior, folk people, hearty, hearty, cordial, lonely, solitary, begin, commence, and so on. Some more examples as titles of nobility, that is prince, duke, baron. In the administration, the words were used as state, government, parliament. Legal terms: privilege, jury, crime. Military matters: war, soldier, march. Ecclesiastical matters: religion, angel, prayer. Fashion: costume, perfume, garment. The words which are used in art and architecture were color, image, force. Occupations: tailor, painter, carpenter. Then the 16th century words like partition, mosaic. 17th century parallel, ballet, Brutus, Vitus, knee, Muslim. 18th century depot, bureau, canteen, picnic, coke, broker. 19th century words motive, profile, restaurant, menu, chauffeur. 20th century garage, hanger, camouflage. And now at the end of the century, French seems more to be at the receiving end than at getting end. This is clear from its aggressively exclusive attitude to English loan words. More than 10,000 French words found their way to English. Words associated with government, law, art, literature, food, and many other aspects of life. About three-quarters of these words are still used, and words derived directly or indirectly from French now account for more than a third of English vocabulary. In fact, English speakers know about 15,000 French words even before they start learning the language. And here we end the influence of French on English language. Thank you.